Welcome back to the second segment of the January 28th Trips and Traps. Andy Serling, Eric Donovan.
3 more races to bring you. We'll start off with January 20th, race number 2. We're going to look at a first-time starter in here for Jimmy Ryerson, the 4, Jan Beth Joe, who's actually a half to Lubash, who's done some nice running on the turf, also trained by Ryerson. But Jan Beth Joe is going to get her career off to a slow start.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that one of the things, Jan Beth Joe's not going to be a big price next time. It may well win. We'll see what the field looks like. Jimmy Ryerson has a history with horses like this, often doing much better second time out. Jan Beth Joe gets compromised. The winner of this race was Rudy Rodriguez, second-time starter. That I would say, Famous Rose, this horse was bet like somebody had already seen the official results.
Yeah, there was no hesitation here making Famous Rose the favorite. I thought Rhonda Gardens, who had run in a couple special weights and ran against Bouquet Booth, who's turned out to be a nice horse and had some trouble last time out of Churchill Downs. I would have thought that Rhonda Gardens for Ty Fletcher dropping in class would have been the chalk, but not the case. We'll see Jan Beth Joe getting back onto the screen here under a full-out drive, which was the case for a good part of the way with her here.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess is it Victor Santiago running this horse? Or no, Eddie Castro. I'm sorry, Eddie Castro. Very busy on Jan Beth Joe in here. A first-time starter that was probably well-meant. And had this horse broken and run a more fluid race, I think this horse might have won. I know she lost by about 3 lengths, but this would have been a lot closer. I don't think you're getting much price. Question is, can this horse turn out to be as big a monster of the turf as Lubash?
I don't think so. I don't think the pedigree is quite there. This one's a Chief Seattle, so I would assume that probably her best running will be on the dirt.
Who is Lubash's sire?
Freud.
Freud, yeah, so probably won't get that right there. But some hope for this horse. I don't think you'll get a big price next time, but Jan Beth Joe certainly ran okay.
All right, we'll turn our attention now to the toboggan in this race from January 22nd on a Saturday. We're going to look at the 6 Temecula Creek in here. A race that's really affected by the long shot in here, the 4 Fastest Cactus, who has gotten a reputation for drifting out.
Right. Every single horse in some ways, and here is Temecula Creek, is affected by Fastest Cactus. And for a horse that finishes last and a distant last in here, that's sort of an unfortunate situation, because the truth is that Fastest Cactus, who's been claimed from Rick Dutrow, he's a bad actor. He's put in some decent races against cheaper. He doesn't belong with these kind of horses, frankly, but he's a horse that drifts very, very badly in his races. And one of the reasons we're showing this race, in fact, the main reason is this race was topic of discussion both in internet message boards, but also got a lot of emails about this race from people complaining about Cornelio Velasquez's ride. Now, I'm the first guy. We're happy to criticize a rider we think they made a mistake. We don't pull punches on that, but I don't blame Cornelio here. I think he just got extremely unlucky in a situation where another horse was badly affecting him.
Yeah, getting the catch-22, as you'll see here, you see him on the outside, and at this point here, obviously the right move seems to be to go outside. Well, he's got the 4-horse Fastest Cactus in front of him, and he starts drifting out a little bit, says, okay, well maybe I'll go inside there, and then they kind of come back together again a little bit in the middle, and he's got to alter course back to the outside here. By the time all's said and done, he gets back on track. The 1A Calibracello, who didn't really run his best race, but still is able to win here, is up to get the lead here, and you see Temecula Creek getting back underway late.
Yeah, you can really see what happens in the head-on, because here is Temecula Creek. Here is Fastest Cactus. He is drifting, and he's continuing to drift. He looks like he'll keep drifting, so Cornelio makes the move to go in there. As soon as he does it, this horse stops drifting and actually comes in a stride, and Cornelio gets totally screwed here. I cannot fault him at all. This was a very, very unlucky set of circumstances because of a horse that acts crazily during these races, and Temecula Creek was a hard luck loser in ways this race, and Cornelio Velasquez was not at fault. I think he's ridden extremely well in the end.
He has, and in terms of Cornelio Velasquez and David Cohn, they're both riding around 20%. They're having great winners, hitting the winner circle at a great rate. But you have Ramon Dominguez in front of you, who's running at 35%.
Absolutely, and Cornelio got off to a slow start. He's never been here in the winter before. David Cohn has a lot of good business here, but Cornelio Velasquez, other than Ramon Dominguez, nobody's riding better than he is.
Take a look at one more race, and this is the second race from January 23rd. The 5 Warrior Up, the 6 Lady on the Run. We're looking at it in a contentious race. Now, this race was for open for all sexes, and Lady on the Run, a filly contests this race. The 6-horse Warrior Up, one of 2 Rodrigo Bio trained horses in here, stretching out in distance. Just a really evenly matched race that I thought looked really nice on paper. And as we see going into the first turn, the 5 and 6 Warrior Up and Lady on the Run are going to be spun 3 or 4 wide into the turn here as the 4 Not Quietly takes back. And then as they approach the right around here, there's going to be some bumping in the middle there. It's going to be easier to show you on the head-on when we get to that after the race here. But you see Lady on the Run on the outside taken out a little bit farther and having to be put in that bad 4-wide position early on in the race.
Yeah, and also worth pointing out that the horse who's in the lead right now, the 3, was a big long shot, ends up finishing second here at a big price. The favorite, the Linda Rice horse, the co-favorite, was chasing outside. That horse could not handle the distance. And you watch here, you can see that the leader is obviously slowing it down because the whole field is coming together here. And you've got the 5 and 6 both back here. Both of them had a little trouble in the first turn, and neither one of them is ever able to get into a comfortable race flow position.
Yeah, the 5 will start backing up a little bit sooner, and I'm wondering maybe if Warrior Up's just a sprinter here. But Lady on the Run, kind of gets put to the chase here as they approach the half-mile pole, or inside the half-mile pole now as they approach the 3/8 pole. Going to get put on the chase here on the outside again. As you said, just never being able to get comfortable in here, kind of in no man's land the whole way around.
Yeah, these 2-turn races here, even if the track is playing fairly, if you don't get a breather and you have a wide trip the whole way and you're out sort of in mid-pack and they're not going that quickly, these are tough trips to overcome. I don't know how good either one of these horses are. You can see them both spreading out towards the back of the pack, laying the run. We'll see where she ends up next time, because don't forget, she's not a speed, and she's benefited from a quick pace in her start before that when she ran a decent second. Not how good she is, but I don't think she ever had a great fair chance in dynamic situation in this race.
No, and I'm encouraged by the way she picks it up a little bit at the end here and picks up 4th money. Never gives it up. Looks like she's finishing with a little interest here. And keep in mind, she's a filly who may well go back against her own sex next time out and be a shorter price. But I thought all in all a decent effort. And we'll take a look at the run around the first turn here, and you get a little bit more of an idea of the bumping that I said was hard to tell from the pan shot. Well, you'll be able to see it a lot easier here on the head-on.
Yeah, there's a little bit of bumping here. I don't have a strong feeling about either of these horses one way or the other, and I don't think they had a particularly fair chance in this race. And certainly Warrior Up, I don't know where Rodrigo Uvilla puts this horse next time out, but he's going to... I'd like to see a more definitive ride. Try to establish some position. It's something we talk about. You want to be moving forward with these horses, else you become a victim, especially in these 2-turn races. And we saw it with Fiery Forest and Bulls and Bears in the first episode. These 2-turn races, you want to move forward to get into position. Otherwise, you end up moving backward and getting taken out with big sort of passivity. And the passivity doesn't work in these races.
No, it doesn't. You always want to get your position and get your position by moving forward and not by moving backwards. So that'll do it for this episode of Trips and Traps. Keep those emails coming, tripsandtraps@NaraInc.com.